Hello and welcome back to the Failed Breakdown channel. It's been a couple of days since I've done one of these trade recaps, but I think today was a nice clean example to go through. This is going to be from Thursday the 18th of December. Right after midday, we put in a nice failed breakdown of the 68.21 level. I'll also touch on a little bit of the action from the previous days, just swing through that real quick. I won't go into detail. As ever, I'm not a professional, I'm not an expert. I'm just doing my best to convey the method taught by Adam Mancini. So I would highly recommend everyone just follow his newsletter and learn everything you can from him rather than me. But with that said, let's get into the charts. Okay, so real quick on the 4 hour. So yesterday we lost the megaphone support and we've been kind of trending down ever since last Thursday when we put a failed breakout at the top of the megaphone or just tested it, and then we've been working our way down in this blue dotted channel ever since then. On Tuesday we put in a significant low here at 68.17, but on Wednesday yesterday I think we triggered the bear case. I want to say it was around 68.30, maybe 32, and then the final sort of line in the sand for bulls was to put in a failed breakdown or to hold the 68.17. They weren't able to do that. We elevated down and then went into a major consolidation for the rest of the day and into the evening. Last night about what time was it? 11:30, I think. Put in a nice failed breakdown of the bottom of the consolidation we'd been in here. About, what was it, 67, 82 or 83, I think, and then ran up into CPI today, good CPI report, and pushed on higher at that point. I missed the trade last night, watched it, but didn't feel like engaging from the comfort of my bed, so was flat going into the morning session. And then CPI, after that, obviously we lifted more, so still remained flat, but no worries, just have to wait for the scary elevated down flush, which happened around midday, and presented us with a nice clean, what I would consider to be a textbook setup. So let's look at the lower time frame to go over that, and then we'll get into the replay of the actual execution. So just real quick on yesterday. Touch the top of the channel. Looked like we might be setting up to put in a failed breakdown of Tuesday's low here at 68.17 or so. I want to say from memory it got a few points above that, but wasn't able to hold for a significant period of time. And with that, we needed to be a little bit more patient with the non-acceptance protocol to make sure it held above there, and it never did. And then just continued, failed downwards, and then got into this chop. And really down here, there was absolutely nothing to engage. It looked like it was going to recover this 67.95 multiple times. But whenever we get this elevated down sell like this, Adam is always tweeting something to the effect of, wait for or resumes up when such and such level reclaims. I think it was 68.18, the prior day's low. So he was just saying, you don't really need to try and catch the bottom of this. Just wait for that level to reclaim and get back in there. We don't need to try and pick the bottom because it can easily dip another 100 points from here. We just don't know. So there's always, no rush to try and get in here. But this was the nice entry right around, this is Central Time on my computer, but right around 11 o'clock money time. The nice thing about this, finally broke down the 60, 67, 82, 83 was a clear shelf that we've been bouncing off of for multiple hours, so met the definition of a significant low. We'd obviously had this quick wick below on the close and another one here, but the shelf was really 68, 67, 83-ish, and we'd been bouncing between 83 and 93 for hours. So when we put in this dramatic flush and then bounced straight back, there was a little bit of type 2 acceptance in here. And I know some in the Discord were able to catch this little move. So this was that swing of type 2 acceptance, and you can kind of see here the price movement has really cleaned up quite dramatically compared to all the mess in here, which is just untradeable. So yeah, that was a nice move pre CPI hits and then lifts off here, and the overnight high kind of coincided with the scene of the crime, as far as when that data was dropped, and that would be an important level later on, as we will see. So this is the level it held. So we know we have 68.18 and 68.22 were kind of a zone to look for a strength add. Obviously we had that during CPI, the CPI push up right here, back tested it and then lifted off. Personally, I don't like these back tests. I never trade them. I don't do very well with them, but there was a back test trade in there. But what that did was it set a significant low at a significant level. So a clear zone to look to trade off. We also had the 25 up here, which was just a noteworthy low to watch out for. And if you wanted to, wait for confirmation, you could wait for that 68.25 to reclaim to get long there. So let me switch over to the chart. You can see the nice scary flush here. We've dropped 40, 50 points through the level, bounced beautifully off the overnight high. That was kind of the line in the sand for me, as far as like, if we had dipped below that, I would have sort of stood down from the trade and maybe looked for something else, or at least kind of slowed down on my alertness. But it held perfectly there. We put in a swing of acceptance and then accelerated back up through the level. So let's take a look at that in real time.